are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time, don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate. And learn to cooperate. Yeah, hit that like button and do your thing. 5 membership will get you in. So let's talk dogs and don't waste no time. Monday 7 p.m. Don't come doing the HATE. Otherwise Hollywood will give you the BYE. Here we go, cue the whistle. Oh yeah, we are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time, don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate. And learn to cooperate. Hit that like button and do your thing. 5 membership will get you in. So let's talk dogs and don't waste no time. Monday 7 p.m. Don't come doing the HATE. Otherwise Hollywood will give you the BYE.
What's going on, guys? Friday Bully Talk. That's what we're doing tonight. Let me just go ahead and change the mic. My apologies, but sometimes it resets. You should be hearing me a little better. Let me know if you could hear me just fine. Tonight we're going to be talking about show quality versus pet quality, and obviously we're going to be hitting everything else in between. We got Adam Fields up in here. Good evening, Bully fam. Freddie Strivia, like always. Hello, my Bully fam. That's it. Kahiki Sakata. We had Queens New Blood Kennel MBK, member for 2 months now. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to start celebrating memberships with free spins, right? Once you hit the 6-month mark, and then again every 6 months. We're live here, says D-Mac. We're live. Excellent, Caveman. Salute, Raul. Adam Fields says sound is good. All right, man. Good evening, fam. Sid 1026 in Sarata. Good evening, everybody. Listen, so I've been talking to people. That's where I usually get the majority of my ideas, is the people that I consult, the people that I'm talking with, that sort of thing. I had a guy that paid $200 worth of consult because he had 2 litters of 10 pups each, and we went pup by pup grading them. Right now, let me just be fair and say that the grading of any breeder of a particular litter is completely subjective. It's completely subjective. It's up to my standards. So based on my standards, I'm going to give my numbers and that sort of thing. You may ask another breeder and he may grade higher or lower based on whatever their standards are. We all know what the breed standard is, and you should be able to know when a dog is not meeting or lacking in a particular area by simply looking at them. If you have this particular picture ingrained in your head, you need the front shot and you need the side shot, and you need to know all these little points, and you got to have a very, that gives you a good idea as to what you're looking for, what perfection is in your head. And then when you see the pup come out and everything's looking great, but they got a little bit of a high rear, a little bit of a roach back, rear angulation is not the best, maybe a little bit of an underbite, all those things. That's when you start accumulating these things and defining a particular point where the dog goes from show quality down to breed quality. And if they have too many of these flaws, they can end up all the way down as a pet quality dog. Let's see, man. We got RGB. Finally got to see alive. All right. We got Raphael Newborn Morel. Kazakh Kennels in the house. All right. V Bullies team. Hope all is well with you and yours, Raul, and the rest of the Bully family. As soon as my new card come in the mail, I'm fixing my membership. Thank you, V Bullies. Nothing but love, man. I appreciate asking how we're doing over here. Everything's going well, man. Hope things are going well with you as well. So I'm going to run a couple of banners down here. And these are just questions that I put together for this live. And yeah, I kind of want to see where we're at as a community. This is a conversation. This is not, this is not me up on a pulpit telling you this is how it's going to be. This is a conversation that we're having. So my question to you is, what constitutes a breeder? Is it the ability to outproduce their own yard? Is it their ability to show dogs in a ring? Is it their ability to match up two dogs that complement each other? Is it something else outside of that? Let me know what constitutes a breeder in your mind. Because I think before we jump in and decide as a community what is going to be show quality, breed quality, and pet quality, we need to decide what our priorities are and what constitutes a breeder. You see, a lot of times you'll have people out here. What's up, Calvin D. White, number love, all the way up in Danville, Illinois. The king of Danville. That's my boy over there. Sulema Santiago, at what age you do those selections? We're going to talk about that. But first and foremost, we need to answer this question cumulatively together. Okay? Because in this community, you'll see some people that are great at showing dogs in a ring. But when you look at their program over time, individually, they're not outproducing their yard. What good is it that you have, let's say from a scale of 1 to 10, you have a dog that's a 7.5, and you took him in the ring and you champed him out. You learn how to walk him in the ring. He knows how to stand. He knows how to do all these things. We fast forward 3, 4, 5 years, and your best dog is a 7.5. Do we consider that to be a breeder, or is this a glorified handler that we're calling a breeder? Right? This is why we need to get our definitions down pat. If we don't get our definitions down pat, then we're really not going to know what it is that we're chasing after. He says all of the above, but most important, love of the dogs. Okay, that's fair, but for all intents and purposes, what is a breeder? All right, David Chapman says glorified handler. He's doing this like he doesn't know. Say 1026. Would you say someone who is knowledgeable and has planned structure for the program and has a consistent track record on quality productions? That's a good definition, Sid 1026. All of those qualities are important. Okay. But in my opinion, you can be an exceptional breeder. In fact, usually the very best breeders don't show dogs in a ring. They don't. Okay. That's not to say their dogs don't go in the ring, that they pay a handler to go show it. I'm talking about they themselves taking the dog in the ring. Most of the very best breeders out there don't do that. That's just a fact. This is not me just throwing it out there. Right. So there's got to be more to it than just handling. Okay. Because I'm going to tell you guys this right now. If you have a dog that's a 7.5 out of 10, and you go to enough shows, sooner or later, he's going to champ out his dogs. I mean, if you know any concept about how the show ring works, might take you half a year, but you're going to champ the dog out. And you look at his yard and he's got 6 dogs and they're all champions. And you're thinking, damn, this dude, this is it. This what I'm looking at is no, what you're looking at is not necessarily what you're thinking. What happened is he's got a dog that's a 7.5, and he's going to go into 20, 30 shows, and the dog's going to accumulate the points after 20 or 30 shows. You do the math. Every time you go to a show, and every time you got to pay to show the dog and everything, this dude made like a $2,000 to $3,000 investment in order to show his dogs this many times in order to be able to champ out. Does that constitute a breeder? My answer is no. If I come back 5 years later, I could care less if your entire yard is filled with grand champions. If your best dog is still a 7.5 in my eyes, you haven't outproduced yourself. See, I think a true breeder has to be someone that is knowledgeable of the breed, its intention, and breed standards. That's number one. You got to know which way, what direction this breed is going. Number two, you have to be able to have an eye, both to acquire dogs or studs from outside of your yard. In addition, you have to be consistently picking the best pups out of your litters, right? Because if you're producing 10 litters, but 9 out of the 10 best pups of those litters, you sold them because you didn't know how to pick them, does that constitute as a breeder? Not really. So you got to be able to pick, not just outside, but also inside of your yard. And you have to consistently outproduce yourself. This is not a competition where I'm playing basketball, red shirt team versus blue shirt teams. Let's see who wins. No, this is a competition of yourself. You're playing golf in a golf course. And last time in 18 holes, it took you 75 strokes to complete 18 holes. Now, next time you go around, it's going to take you 75 or is it going to take you 74? How about if it took you 80? Are you moving in the right direction? You may be learning. Okay. You may be learning, but the following time after that, I don't want to see an 84. I want to see at least a 77, maybe even a 74. That tells me that shot you took in the chin taught you something, and now you're using it to further yourself. All right. This is really important, man. Let me go through some of your comments. Kiddo G's, what's up, man? Inserata says all of those are important. Okay. Breeder is not outproducing in the yard, striving to always seek better or continue an already complete line, wanting no better but the best. They ain't concerned about other people's yards. I couldn't say it any better. Queen's New Blood. When I look at my yard, for example, I'm not worried about what anybody else out there has. What I'm looking at is these dogs that I have accrued, whether through my production or brought in from outside. In addition, I'm looking at my studs and the potential outside studs I have. I'm looking at their development and how I'm going to mix and match it, right? In order for it to complement each other, for me to be able to outproduce what I currently have, period. If you're not outproducing consistently, then to me, you're still a novice. That's what it comes down to. Unless they want to incorporate that into their lines to produce the best of that dog. Okay. Kino G's, I will be shorting myself as a breeder in the future if I don't do ring shows with my dog. G's, you're not necessarily shortchanging yourself. Let me explain something to you so you don't get it twisted, right? I'll give you an example. Me, I keep using myself as an example so people don't feel like I'm picking on them. I don't have the time to prepare my dogs to go into a show ring, okay? This is a one-man crew here that you're looking at. When we go live, when I make a video, when I drop a short, when I go feed the dogs, when I take them to the vet, when I breed them, when I whelp the litter, it's a one-man show. I don't have the time to be able to do that, okay? However, I do put my dogs in handlers' hands, and they will show my dog for me in the ring, okay? You see where I'm coming from. So the process is not necessarily being curtailed. It's just being compartmentalized. I do the breeding and everything else in the background. I'll let the handlers who've been doing this for years handle my dogs in the ring. Inserata says they should be consistently producing better stock and conformation, healthy longevity, and temperament. We're going to talk more about that in a second. Queen's New Blood says breeders showing isn't as important, but your dog should be able to be put in the show ring and grab some wins. Being able to match up dogs up both pheno and genotype to produce the best results. Queen's New Blood, let me just make this announcement. Queen's New Blood, I've only seen you around for about 2 months. The impact, the positive impact, the words that come on your texts, on your comments, the way you're coming about, I can definitely tell that you're taking your stuff seriously. You know what I'm saying? That you're definitely going to be able to up your game if you haven't upped it already. You're really coming across as somebody that knows or is striving to know what it is that they need to do to be able to get better. RGB, the ability to outproduce the yard and continue to complement to better each dog each time. This is true. Is there going to be a time where you don't completely blow the socks out of your yard? Of course. It's happened to all of us. But consistently, right? Out of 5 litters, I want to see 3, 4 litters where you're consistently pushing that boundary, pushing that line forward, right? Adam Fields says someone is progressing the breed forward. Okay. D-Mac, some people just want the money. They'll produce the same dog over and over without care of making them better. I agree. I'm not going to name names because definitely I don't need to start nothing, but I recently saw somebody post online this particular dog that's one of the most popular dogs in the world. And he's saying, you know, oh, this dog's about to pass away. He's already older, this and that. Luckily, the dog got better. The following post, he said he got better, this and that. And that's great. But I was thinking about tonight's topic. And I was looking at this dude with his dog who he has been able to market worldwide and make millions on. And I could only wonder, because this dude, that dog must be somewhere around 10 or 13 years old, is my guess. But dude, for as popular as a dog is, has never outproduced the dog. He doesn't have a dog in his camp that you can say, oh, wow, no, this dude, you know what I'm saying? So for 10 years, you mean to tell me for 10 years, 10, 13 years, I'm sure this dog has produced over 1,000 pups, okay? You mean to tell me that for 10 to 13 years, you have produced over 1,000 pups and you have not been able to outproduce this dog? What are we doing? But when you really look at the cat, at least to me, he looks a lot more like a dog trainer than he does as a breeder. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, the dogs are definitely well trained. I've seen plenty of videos. But what I do notice a lot of times is we put attributes on people when it is painfully obvious they're not breeders. They're dog trainers. That's what they are. You see what I'm saying? So just wanted to throw that out there. We got Terrence Grigsby. Good to be here. So much knowledge. What's up, Terrence? Nothing but love, man. Rodney Easton Bullies Jones. What's up, my guy? Nothing but love, man. V Bullies team. I think a real breeder is always trying to improve the breed. Okay, fair enough. Yo, Luke Wilford, Brian D. That's okay. Where I live, there's 400 pit bulls at any given time that need to be adopted. Honestly, some look as good as your dogs. It's much better to save a dog. Brian D, look, man, there's nothing wrong with saving dogs. In fact, I have 2 rescues currently in my yard. I had 4 a little bit, I would say maybe about 5, 6 months ago, but I had to get rid of 2 of them because they were trying to kill the other rescue that I kept, which is Shadow. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not the topic of tonight. You see, the topic of tonight is what is a pet quality pup, what is a breed quality dog, and what is a show quality dog. And this is so for those of us that do want to buy a dog, we don't get taken advantage of. That's the whole reason for this live. Kino says, got you. Show ring is more bragging rights for the most part. Not every dog in the ring is up to the breed standards. So I feel if a breeder doesn't compete, it's not a major loss. Most big breeders don't show. I agree with that statement. Just the clients. That's it. Reyes says, what's up, Raul and everybody? What's up, Reyes? Nothing but love, man. Big Balls McGraw. There you go. That's a name for you. Big Balls McGraw says, I went and got my dog DNA health tested thanks to you. Now I just need to know what to do and how to apply it to my growth. Very good. Well, I don't know if you watched plenty of our genetic videos. They will definitely help you. You could also set up a consult with me and we can sit down and go over your results. That's not an issue. Kino G says, why I feel like you talking about Hulk. I don't know, man. I don't know. All I'm saying is, I don't know. All right. Amber Godwin says, we have a kennel. I'm on my mom's account. Okay, number love. Marley, he's a terrible trainer, says Marley. You see, I don't have the ability to kind of decide whether somebody's a good trainer or not because I'm not a trainer myself. But as a breeder, if I look at you, and I've been looking at you for 10 years, and we're still circling the same dog, and there's nothing going above that, what are we doing? That's just me. Cage World, I think a breeder is someone who understands their breed and has a game plan as to how to make the yard better and better every litter. Okay, you have a game plan, but you also got to include in that they must execute it, right? What's up, QBN family? Aloha, Big Island. George rolled in. When I mean executed, I mean they have to show that they can consistently outproduce their yard and pick the right pups. Queen's New Blood says, thank you. I've been studying to get into breeding since 13. Been watching breeders. Almost went with Cane Corso, but landed on American Bullies. I'm slowly acquiring my stock, being very picky. It shows, man. It shows. Lyle had an accidental breeding. My male APPT got a hold of my American Pitbull. Any thoughts? Yeah, if you can abort it, that'd be great. Otherwise, you're bringing mutts into this world that normally end up in a shelter, bro. Amber Godwin, I'm on my mom's account, and I do junior handler. Okay, Miss Amber. Nothing but love. We got Queens. Some vets offer abortion for dogs, but if not, recommend pet homing them all with spay and neuter contract. Yeah, I think abortion is probably a better thing. Amin Amr, best age to breed a female, and what age can you tell her full potential as far as size? That's a very general question that I've answered many times. So, Amin, I'm going to ask you to check out our previous lives. You're going to get your answer there, man. Anna Fields, I have an ace up my sleeve. Oh, watch out now. Amber Godwin, my handler dog is Cheyenne Power Bullies. I show her. She does good. She's a grand champ. Very good. Congrats on that. Shamir Jacobs, hi there, bro. I love dogs and love all of your videos. All right, number love, man. Let me bring up the next scenario, or I guess the next question, if you will. Okay. So which flaws are a deal breaker for you? What flaw? So I've already heard like Queen's New Blood. They're acquiring their stock right now, right? So whenever you're seeing a litter of pups or you're seeing a potential pup that you want to acquire, what is the one thing that when you see it, you want nothing to do with? Let me know. We're going to talk about that. RGB, one major issue I've seen lately is breeders who have been doing this for years keep breeding after the productions have major health issues and continue to repeat the same breeding pair. This is true. And you know what I find, which is really sad, is the public will not call these breeders out. You got breeders that know that a dog has a heart issue or a renal issue, and they're producing puppies with renal issues or renal issue carriers, and nobody steps up and talks about it, man. V's Bully says, no disrespect, but I really don't get the accidental pregnancy stuff. Neither do I. Neither do I. There's no such thing as accidental pregnancy when you have dogs, because before the female goes in heat, you already know you got to keep them separate, man. But since it did happen, I think the best thing is to abort, man. Thomas Archambault says his deal breaker is Easty Westy. Let's see. RGB says, and no one says nothing. It shows that they are breeding just for the name. There you go. Frady Stravia says her deal breaker is a kink tail. Adam Field says bad rear angulation is a no-go for us. Okay. Vincent Jenkins, I won't buy a backyard breeder with no health panels, no backgrounds on the parents and blood. Wow. I'm starting to like these comments. I'm starting to like comments where I'm not going to buy from you unless you got a health panel. I'm starting to like it. 5 years ago, when I started this little pioneering of it, people were like, what the hell is a DNA, an embark DNA test? And many breeders hating on me because they knew that the day would come where people like Vincent Jenkins are going to start requiring the stuff, man. Enrique Chávez, ¿qué tal? Buenas noches. Llegué tarde, pero es mejor tarde que nunca. Saludos. Saludos, Enrique. Esoteric Wiz, high rear, bad east west, bad underbite. Okay. These are deal breakers. I would turn away when they don't look like what they are. I've seen some people who are horrible at helping, and the dogs look malnourished. Sulema, east-west, under or overbite, king tail, A-frame. Okay, so when I say what's your deal breaker, I guess you could have several of them, but usually a deal breaker is a one thing that when you see it, it's just not going to happen. Half tail, quarter tail under the name exotic. Okay. Real people do real things from the West Indies, Trinidad, to be exact, listening attentively and taking notes, since a part of my goal is to breed dogs here and put them in the U.S. market. Not but love, man. Appreciate you. Infamous, all the way from Mariana Island. For me, it's high rear and bad rear angulation because that's what I need to improve. But I don't want a dog with an underbite, overbite, or easty-westy. We're going to get into situations where you're going to have to pick a dog. And we all know there's no such thing as a perfect dog. So I'm gonna kind of corner people to have to make tough decisions. And we're going to talk about it. K's World, eyes too close together, and king tail. I think eyes too close together for me. Okay, let me rewind. Let me tell you what my deal breakers are, right? You guys know I hate king tails and I hate stiff stifles. These are two things that if I see it, we're going to have problems. In the past, I really, really hated underbite. I still don't like underbite. But if it's a slight underbite, I can work with it. It's not the end of the world. Now, when the eyes are too close together, what it usually means to me is that an outside breed has been bred with this dog. And in particular, like I did on my last live, I spoke about the Brazilian pit monster. And unfortunately, a lot of breeders are going to the shortcut and they're using this breed to breed to the American Bully, which I feel it shouldn't happen. The ABKC should have stepped in and set each breed on its own and not allow them to intermix. That's just my opinion. But right now, if I see too close of eyes, not happening. Lyle says, what does it mean if someone has papers on a dog and can't tell you the bloodline? It means they're an idiot. It means well, let me not say an idiot. It means they're new. They could be new and they're learning. But normally, what you normally get is somebody that doesn't know crap about the lines, and all they know is how to say, oh, his dad is Bugatti and his mom is BMW. They know how to say that, but they don't know how to say anything else. Usually that's how it normally works. How do I feel about Kangol? I'm not into a working line dog. My breed is the American Bully, which is a companion breed. I'm good with it. And Sarata says, I think finding several good mentors for different areas, such as Raul maybe another for show ring tips and another for pedigree, etc., and one for training tips should be experienced and ethical. Thank you, Sarata. I appreciate you including me in that. Marley says, Raul, as a breeder, would you take a pup that lacks bone with a decent frame over a boned up pup with a poor frame? Marley, excellent question. And these are the type of questions I want us all to answer and gauge things. Now, that all depends. If that pup that lacks bone, if one of the two parents has bone and say they're in my eyes a carrier, in other words, they don't show heavy bone, but if going into a heavy bone female may end up with some bone, then definitely the one that lacks bone with a decent frame. Or a boned up with a poor frame. You got to be more specific. Poor frame can be so many things. Let me give you an example. You could tell me the dog's east-west up front. East-west is not the worst thing to fix. But if you told me the dog is stiff, stifled in the back, then that's definitely a deal breaker for me. It's going to take way too long to fix that. I won't even go down that path. Lyle says those dogs class determines on bloodline or just on the size that they grow. It's based on the size that they grow up to the withers. All right. And if you don't know what the withers are, let me bring them up here. And there you go. Wither is right up here, pretty much like the shoulder area, but more to the middle. Okay. So those are the withers. Let me go back, man. We're having a good conversation tonight, man. Underbite and king tails. I hate them. I hate them both, but I hate king tails more than underbite. I'm not loving underbites. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not hating them as much as I used to. Lorenzo Whittle told my wife, if I were to get a female, I'd come talk to you, my brother. There you go, Lorenzo. That's what you do, man. And make sure to talk to her first, right? So when you come talking to me, we're going to set you straight, man. Make sure to download QBN app and be on the lookout for upcoming litters. Queen's New Blood Kennel says stifles, which means front could possibly be short in the upper arm. Found the dogs will put too much effort in their gait, causing the dog to tire easily. Yes, the dog can't move properly. Kink tail too. No, I wouldn't touch any of that. I mean, you're talking about king tail and stiff stifle. Guys, king tails. One of the reasons why I stay away from king tails and why I feel a dog with a king tail is pet quality at best immediately is because the tail obviously is part of the spine. Okay. I've said it a million times. In the endoderm, that's where the eyes, the kidneys, the heart, and the spine are made. This is a developmental stage. This is not, it is obviously genetic, but it's also a developmental stage. So if you talk to, say, a backyard breeder, they'll tell you, oh, man, I bred two dogs with a king tail, and I'll produce an entire litter without a king tail. This is true. But you might have exchanged that king tail for a kidney issue, a heart issue, an eye issue, any of those, right? So that's one of the reasons why I stay away from that. Let's see. And so out there, I see some people that have pretty dogs, but they do shady practices. This is the other part of it. This is the other part of it. You got some breeders out here with exceptional dogs, but the minute you go talk to them, it's all shady. It's, I got this pup. You got to pick at 2-3 weeks, and we're going to ship it to you at 6. Yeah, no, I'm not. We're not going in that direction, right? Stiff stifles, high rear. The deal breaker for me is a dog that looks. For me, it's a dog that looks like it's gonna have a high vet bill within a year of its life. Wow, that's a good one. Queen's New Blood says also temperament will follow up. This is an excellent point. Temperament. If I can't have a dog around my nieces and nephews, that doesn't have self-awareness and patience. Very good point. Let's see. Look, here's the next question, right? Here's the next question. What do you consider a dog with perfect conformation? Okay, so the dog looks like that. Perfect conformation. However, they have a volatile temperament. They have a temperament where they could snap any minute and bite somebody. What do you consider that? You consider that pet quality, show quality because it's got the body, or does the temperament handicap that dog into pet quality and possibly what's worse than pet quality, put down quality, right? Because if you have an aggressive dog and you're a responsible breeder, I expect you to put those pups down when they're showing you these tendencies within, the moment they're born all the way up to 10 weeks. It's another reason why you want to wait a little bit before you get pups. Let's see. I'm trying to catch up here. Stifles, which mean front. Okay, we hit that. What's the longest have a female took to have puppies for you? I think 63 days, and she only had 2. Typically, XLs, at least my XLs, have puppies on day 59. Usually when the litter is 4 or more. Marley, for me, it's a dog that looks like, okay, we just hit that. Eyes, for me, I'm immediately thinking neurological issues. Exactly. Adam Fields, what constitutes a bloodline? Okay, so technically, if you go to a book's going to tell you that in best case scenario, you could have a bloodline within 4 generations. You can't. Me, realistically, I say 6 to 8. And what would conform the bloodline? That bloodline would have to have a particular attribute, which could also include behavior, okay, or temperament. They need to have an attribute, either physical or temperamental, that is consistent up and down that bloodline, okay, up and down that bloodline. Now, here's the thing. If that bloodline is bred outside of his bloodline, does it lose all of its consistency? Or does it go maybe 50-50? To me, if it goes 50-50, that's fine. Okay, that's fine, because I don't care what bloodline you run, sooner or later you have to outcross. What matters is when you outcross and you bring that back, you need to choose the pups that best represent your bloodline. So let's say you had a bloodline where head, shoulder, and front assembly is on point, right? But you're trying to improve rears, right? And the temperament is very gentle, very loving. So you want to go after the pups that got the better rears, that are more gentle and loving. You don't want to be getting pups that have a different type of temperament outside of your bloodline, if that makes any sense. Travis, on time, is late. There you go. Number love, man. Sulema says barrel frame. There you go. Vincent, can a skinnier, muscular build female with big bone background, can they still produce big, thick bone or medium-sized build? Vincent, they possibly can. That's the answer. Let me give you an example. In a couple of, actually, it's about a couple of months now, I went in and I dug information as to the genetic mapping on Embark, right? And how you would do this is you see all them little markers, all them little colors, right? Whenever your dog has homozygosity, and I'm going to put the bars up there in a second for my dog, you're going to see that there's yellow lines. When those yellow lines fall on those colors, then you go down to each corresponding color and chromosome number, and it will give you information as to bone density, if they can have it or not. This is why it's so important. If you're able to learn this, when you're going to match up a female with a male, this is the best way to be able to get bone density. It would look something like this, right? So this is one of my, what you're looking at there with the homozygosity with the yellow bars is one of my females. And I was matching her up with a male, and I did the very same thing you're seeing here with the male. And so I was looking for certain spots, certain colors to be hit between the two dogs in order to guarantee bone density. Unfortunately, ever since we came out with this, and I could be wrong, but I think we're the only breeders that have actually sat down and broken this down the way we have. I could be wrong, like I said. Ever since we came out with this, now Embark took down the genetic map. So you no longer are able to see your dog's genetic map. In my opinion, they realized that if you're able to give us this and then show our dog's result, that's a bang, bang money maker in their pockets. The moment will arrive, mark my words, the moment will arrive where you will be able to see markers like these and be able to set up your dog's genetic map like this. Also be able to set up breedings like these so that you can get the best result possible. And of course, in the community, we have a bunch of people that not only don't understand this, but want to be resistant because, you know, they just don't understand it really. That's what it is. Fredia says the health and history of the pup. I want to know what I'm getting genetic wise. The knowledge of the breeder themselves as a person is a plus. There you go. RGB says kink tails neurological issues. Okay. Brian Trammell saying, what's up? What's up, Brian? Number love, man. Thanks for checking in. Infamous says, y'all, for $24.99, you can get a mentorship and get a consult with Raul every month. I did mine last week, and Raul helped me know what I should do with my kennel. Worth the investment. Number love, Infamous. Appreciate you for bringing that up. All you got to do is go down to the description below. If you want to become a member, you can become a member for as little as $5 a month and be part of this conversation. If you want something a little bit more in depth, you can become a mentorship member, and I could do one-on-one FaceTimes with you. We could also text whenever anything comes up, okay? So thank you for bringing that up, Infamous. Also, real quick, I want to bring this up to you guys.
Guys, real quick, let me talk to you about Nuvet and NuJoint Plus. This is a multivitamin. This is joint support. Many people out here have done before and after pictures showing you the improvement that this alone brings to the table. If you're feeding kibble, if you're feeding raw, there could be some insufficiencies that are actually causing structural issues to your dog. Wouldn't you want to correct that? This is just it. The multivitamin that'll do it for you is Nuvet and also joint support with NuJoint Plus. I recommend both bottles. We're going to go ahead and leave a link in the descriptions below. Now let's get back to it.
All right, guys. So we're back at it. Just so you know, Nuvet is a multivitamin and NuJoint DS is joint support. These are the only two that we give our dogs. Not only is it food grade, which is the highest grade you could feed your dog, you could look up Nuvet and NuJoint DS. They have never been recalled in over 20 years of existence. So we go ahead and challenge you on that. Not only that, you also get 90-day money-back guarantee. If you have a dog walking around east-westy or showing knuckling over or of any of those things, I strongly recommend you go with these products. All right, real quick, let's go to our next question, man. And that next question is, how many flaws would you allow before you consider your dog a pet quality? Again, guys, this is a community conversation. So I want to hear, how many major flaws would you allow a dog to have before you consider it a pet quality? All right. Do you think slip stifle is harder to correct than a roach back? Yeah, I do. There's more moving parts. D-Mac, Raul, if you took a shot on and weren't 100% happy with any of the pups as far as outperforming, would you be comfortable letting go of them all? D-Mac, this is an excellent question. I tell people that follow me and watch my lives all the time. I'll bring just because, okay, let me rewind. The way I handle my yard is like a football team, okay? We have only starters. There's nobody here that can be a backup. I don't have room for that. When I go ahead and bring a pup on, think of it as a draft choice. They got brought on the team because I think they have the potential to be something. I've always said there's a 30 to 35% that you and I and nobody else on this earth knows which way this puppy's going to go. We don't know if they're going to go east, west, north, south. No, we don't know. So we'll bring them on. Now, if I bring you on and you develop a flaw that I will not accept in my yard, you got to go. I'm not keeping you. Why am I going to sit here and fix another breeder's problem? Okay. When I'm trying to accomplish something myself, I use the knowledge I have. I use my sight as best as I can. And all you can do is make the best darn educated guess out there. Okay. And bring that puppy on. However, there are going to be some flaws that, you know, a 3-month-old is not okay. Most pups are going to be within 2 and 3 months. They're going to show cowhawks. That's not the end of the world, right? Also, most pups are not going to show their true east-west until they're 6 months old, 6 to 8 months. If they got any dysplasic elbows, it's really not going to show until between 6 to 8 months. If they have, say, an underbite, it's really not going to correct or get worse until they're about 10 months, right? So you got to wait until these benchmarks are hit and see how the dog's coming on, and then make a determination, hey, do you get to stay or do you got to go because I got to bring another pup to fill your slot? In my yard, I run a dynamic kennel, which means for every puppy I keep, somebody's got to go, right? But if I keep you and you don't develop, you know, like once I bring a pup on, I don't immediately just let go of a stud or of a female. I will keep them around, right? And give this pup about 6 or 8 months here in my yard. If he is who I think he is, then at that time I can move away from the adult. If not, then I got to move away from the pup, right? Adam Fields, I've seen a lot of people not know how to wicket a dog's height. Yeah, you're going to get a lot of that. Enrique, my first dog is a mixture of bullies, and I didn't know well about the breed. Now I'm learning, and I hope to find something that looks healthier and with minimum possible health complications. Well, yeah, you can definitely look into people's yards, and you can immediately tell the dogs are healthy or not, and if something's going on. You really can, because, you know, just a little bit of psychology. If every time somebody posts a picture of a dog and it's only and exclusively a glamour shot from far away, it usually means they're trying to hide something, guys. I mean, it's really that simple, right? Because as a breeder, you're also a marketer. And if the dog, like, look, my boy Fireball, he's got one of the best fronts, you know, I match him up. I'm not saying he's got the very best front in the world, but I'll match him up with anybody. He's as correct as it comes. So look at the pictures we're taking, right? If you look at the pictures we take, we show his feet, we show his toes, we show his nails, we show everything, right? So what would happen if I got him on slanted ground and he's kind of next to this little bush and grass is about 6 inches? Yeah, it usually means there's something going on, right? Which sometimes it just surprises me how people don't pick up on those things. I totally think passing health scores is very important. If a dog has failing hips or carries 2 copies of something like DM or ataxia, they should never be bred. I agree. I think 2 copies of ataxia, I mean, the dog's what, going to live till 3 anyways? You might as well just put them down. NK, bad temperament. That's a deal breaker. Infamous, bad temperament. A big fault for me. And I need good temperament. Excellent. What it do, family? A little late, but I'm here. You good, Looney Tune? Number love, man. Appreciate you. I'm going to skip over a couple of comments. I want to catch up as to how many flaws would we allow before we start considering a dog to be pet quality. Do me a favor. If I skipped over your question, please rewrite it again. I'll be more than happy to answer it. Looney Tune says 1, maybe 2, depending on the flaw. Okay. Queen's New Blood, 2 majors depending on the dogs. Expect, I guess, especially if they have something I want to utilize. Most of the time, no. If it's your production and you're further down the line with them, 1 major fault. Okay. RGB, 2 major ones, but if it's 1 major, automatic pet home. There you go. Holly LaChance, 1 major flaw for me is a pet quality. Minor flaws are pretty normal. For me, it's more about the severity and not a set amount. Okay, fair enough. Queens, you need to be especially strict with your lines since you've been working with them longer and should strive to keep and produce the best in that line. You got it. John Warren, 1 major and 2 non-major flaws for the male, 1 major, 3 non-major flaws for the females. Wow. Okay, Up on Rocks. Okay. Chilean Gringo says 3. So let me ask you guys this. Years ago, when we started coming live and doing all these things, there wasn't really too many people coming on live, to be perfectly clear with you. It was pretty much us. Us and maybe one other, if that. And when I came on, I said, okay, we're going to let people know what we call show quality, what we call breed quality, and what we call pet quality. For us, a pet quality pup is a pup with 2 major flaws or 1 major flaw that is so freaking egregious that it automatically qualifies the dog as a pet quality. Okay. So what could those 2 major flaws be? It could be an underbite, east-west, could be east-west and a roach back, could be, stiff stifle. For me, stiff stifles, that's the only flaw you need. For me, you're automatically pet homed at that point. My point is, I want to ask you guys, because you're coinciding a lot with me, that pet quality is with 2 major flaws or more. Are you guys getting that from me, or what source are you using? Where did you get that information from? Also, for us, we considered a dog breed quality, in other words, capable of being bred, is with one fault, but that fault cannot be egregious. So if you're east-west, you can't, like, you could be slight east-west, you can even be east-west, but you can't be like, with a dysplasia elbow all the way out here. That's just not going to fly. We call that breed quality. And then for show quality, we're looking at no major flaws. You could have 2, possibly a 3rd minor flaw, as long as it doesn't, as long as the faults are very subtle, is what I'm talking about. Okay. Travis says a dog that sticks his tongue out all the time is a neurological problem. Well, it depends, unless you live down south and it's really hot, man. I'm just saying. Zay Chronic, is high rear a major flaw? Yes, it is. V Ferreira, based on Embark, what would you say qualifies as pet home based on genetic testing? Pet home to me, man, you see, a dog that has ataxia, for example, for me, that's a non-breedable dog. That's pet quality immediately. Anything neurological where you're just not even just a carrier, you have it full on. Yeah, no, that's not going to fly. Any illness like that, I would immediately get rid of it. Actually, I would put down the dog. Might not even make it pet home. Good question. There you go. V, major versus minor. Okay. Okay, so you're asking what's a major flaw versus a minor flaw. A flaw. Okay, so, you could have east-west, right? But it's not severe. It's a slight east-west. That's going to be considered more of a minor fault than anything else. In fact, the ABKC doesn't consider east-west with the XLs as a fault altogether. So, that would be one. Another one would be muzzle length. For example, as long as you have the underjaw and you have the occiput and everything else, you may have the muzzle just a little bit further than what breed standard would be. That sort of thing. Freddie Stravia, let's get those likes up. Show some love, guys. Give me some love, guys. What is stiff stifles? Okay, stiff stifles. Stiff stifles. Let me see if we can come up with a picture of a dog with stiff stifles, because I think I can show it better than I can explain it, right? Dog with stiff stifles. There you go. And you'll see here. Come on, man. I'm trying to. Here we go. This is a good picture. Good picture. We're going to have to visit their site. Hold on, guys. Bear with me. I'm going to get you a good picture. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me go ahead and bring that up. And then we can all take a look and we could all comment on this. So again, this is not the American Bully breed. So this may be acceptable for the Basenji breed, which is recognized by the AKC. But you notice here how there's no angulation. Look how there's no angulation here. The stifle is probably right around here. But look, the stifle is stiff. The dog is going to be walking on stilts, at least if it was an American Bully. Now, I don't know about the Basenji, right? This is a different breed. They weigh less, and they're composed differently. But if you were to look at the breed standard for the American Bully, here you go. Here you go. Look at the stifle and look at the curvature it's coming with. You see that curvature? Okay. There's curvature there on the stifle that other breed doesn't have. And sorry, that was the best picture I could get. All right. RGB says ataxia. Inserata says, I saw a dog from Romania at last show. A breeder who is a friend imported him for herself, and he just champed out. Here's a pocket. Looked great. Okay. And K Bully says, from you and I agree with your standards. Okay. Oh, that's where you got it from. You got it from me. Okay, fair enough. No, not panning, just like his tongue is too long. Yeah, no, that would definitely be an issue. How about Merle dogs? What about them? What about them? They're not allowed in the show ring, but you can register them. So they can take your money, but you can't champ your Merle out, at least not with the ABKC. Infamous, what would you consider a lack of bone and muscle? Lack of bone is proportionate to the body. So I like to look at the dog's head first before I'm going to make a statement on bone. Head and bone, they go hand in hand. And I found this out mostly when I started doing my genetic research. When I was doing research on how to line these things up and get the information based on my dog's genetics, I found out that whether a dog has bone or not, you're going to know on its head. Its head is going to tell you so much more than just looking at the bone that you're going to be seeing on their forearms or anything, on their limbs or anything like that. So, man, I just lost track of what I was saying. So yeah, the bone on the head, right? So what ends up happening is if you see that there's a dog that's got somewhat of a I don't know, terrier head, more likely than not, I know there's always room for that one little minor exception, but more likely than not, when you start getting those terrier heads, you're going to be having light bone. It just goes hand in hand, guys. So that's what I would consider as lack of bone. Now, as far as lack of muscle, you're going to be shocked at what I'm about to tell you. When I did my research on this, now, mind you, those markers are all on bone density, but those markers also have everything to do with muscle density. Okay, muscle density. So what I'm trying to get at is you're not going to get beefed up muscle without having a dog with bone, right? So you could have a dog with light bone that's got muscle, but his body type is going to be one of an athlete rather than a dog that is boned up. Its muscles are going to be that of a bodybuilder. Okay, that's how it all ties in, guys. I know it doesn't sound like I just found some new info, but nobody really knew until I did that research. Looney Tunes says, Raul, my day one go-to when it comes to the American Bully, 90% of my bully knowledge comes from QBN. Looney Tune, number love, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for saying that. Queen's New Blood Kennel says, myself and come upon your channel that helps solidify it as growing program. One needs to be critical thinking on how your program is growing. There you go. Thank you, Queens. I appreciate it. Sloppy looking dog is a no for me. Okay. Major for us neurological issue, example, kink tail, etc., and deformity. Jaleel Jones, can you use Bully Max muscle tabs and Nuvet and NuJoint together? The answer is I would not. I wouldn't. Only because there are some vitamins, and this is just in general, guys. There's some vitamins that are fat soluble and they're stored in the liver. And too much of those vitamins can actually become toxic for your dog. This is why I only recommend using Nuvet and NuJoint DS. Everything else, it may bring the same vitamin over. And if it's a fat soluble vitamin, it may make it reach a toxic level. So I wouldn't do it. Malachi, also do your research on any breeders you plan to buy from or work with. Kennel blindness causes a quality issue. Our idea of breed pet show quality, sadly, is not held up by questionable kennels. Okay, so my question to you, Malachi, is when you see somebody trying to push a pup that is pet quality on as a show quality, do you consider that ethical or unethical? And if you consider it unethical, what do you do about it? I want to know. Queen's New Blood says, honestly, though, my boy has stiff stifles, but he finished developing and better at self-stacking than hand stacking. Okay. Christian Jaretta, that was perfect, man. Now I know what it is. Okay. Quisqueya Bully, you are the best, sir. Thanks for education. You got a Quisqueya number love, man. Sid 1026, would hips be a deterrent to you if the dog had everything else you need? here's the thing, and this is an excellent question, an excellent point you're bringing up, Sid 1026, because I have spoken now to over 10, right, veterinary orthopedic surgeons, and they are 60-40 that hip issues and hip dysplasia come more from the environment than they do genetically. This is not me throwing a number out there. This is me just conversating with these people. So if no other pup in that litter has hip dysplasia, then I can consider that there's a possibility that it's environmental. Okay. Is Merle pet quality or show quality? Well, technically, Merle cannot go in the show ring with the ABKC, but it can go in the show ring with the BRC. So because the BRC does recognize the Merle, I would say, depending on the flaws that the Merle has, that would determine whether it's show, breed, or pet quality, if that makes any sense. Jaleel says, can you put, we already answered that, RGB, look up the video Earl has about the ingredients in Bully Max tabs, Nuvet all the way guarantee. You got it, RGB. Thanks for bringing that up. Queen's New Blood, similar to how GK Cora looked stacked up muscle tone with thick bone. Here's a dog that has passed, but here's a dog dream. Guys, Queens, can you rewrite that? I'll be more than happy to read it, but I couldn't make sense out of it. Christian Ira had when I got my American Bully for the first time, I looked up the breed. First thing that came up was QBN Kennels. Really? Wow, look at that. I appreciate it. Adam Fields says, spin that wheel. Well, we're about to. Malachi says, I consider it unethical because now I understand the bigger motive behind the sale of the show quality dog is the money. I value the ethics and the quality of a person as much as I do the dogs. Excellent response, Malachi. I know we all need to make the money to keep the program forward, but if you're not producing the quality you need or want to match the price, it is solely upon you as a breeder. You got it. Your thoughts on Bully Max? No, listen. I mean, I'm sorry to break your heart, bro, but Bully Max is my competitor, okay? I'm not going to sit here and talk about Bully Max. In fact, I made a video where I made a comparison of Nuvet, Bully Max, and Dine. And within a week, I got a letter from lawyers at Bully Max threatening me with a lawsuit because they couldn't handle the truth that I had to speak on. So please don't bring up Bully Max. Jaleel says, thank you all for the info. I'm new to the bully world. A lot of info here with QBN. Thank you. You got it, man. Genesis, great info, Raul. You're a great bully resource. Nothing but love, man. I appreciate it. Listen, we're going to go ahead and we're going to spin some wheels here because I've had some of you make some good, not arguments, make some good statements. But before we do, I want to ask more questions. So this question I want to ask, do you feel like the market sometimes favors dogs more based upon popularity than actual conformation and functionality? Do you feel there's dogs walking out here that just, outside of the name they got behind them, they're a walking mutt? Do you feel that this is the case, or am I just seeing things? Queen says, similar to how GK Cora looked, like he is a dog that has since passed, but I dream of making a dog similar to him and put him in the show ring. My finger is bandaged. It's difficult. No worries. Infamous says, absolutely. He feels that there's dogs that are being favored because of popularity. David Chapman says, of course. Okay. All right. So if we know that, so let me drop another question. Does waiting till pups are at least 10 weeks old improve your odds on getting a better puppy? Does waiting till pups are at least 10 weeks old, I don't know, I put hold there, my bad, improve your odds on getting a better puppy? Let me know. I want to know. Does it actually improve the ability of you getting a better pup or not? Okay. And if it does improve, tell me why. And I'll give you a spin. Okay. D-Mac says the Cybertruck ain't the prettiest truck in the world, but people are drooling over them. I'll leave it at that. Okay. And Sarata says definitely. Actually, a lot of the fully health tested dogs sell much cheaper than hyped up dogs. V Bullies, absolutely. Some of these grand champions I really question. That's another reason why breeders, I feel, don't always show. Let me give you an example. Every time I have walked into a dog show, my dog has lost. Every time I'm not there, they kick ass. Do you think it's a coincidence? I sure as hell don't. Just keep. Let's see. It's a matter of perspective. Some want physique, some want size, some color pattern. Okay. Mr. Yang, I'd take a real APBT game bred over these American Bullies any days. Okay. So my question to you, Mr. Yang, why are you in this live? Why are you here? We talk American Bullies. Now, we do talk other dogs too. Don't get me wrong. Well, my question is, what brought you on the live if we're not about APVTs, we're about American Bullies? Infamous. On my Facebook groups in the States, it's all about the name. Kind of why I like it here in the Marianas, because not too many big names, so you got to make your dog speak for you. That's a good point. NK Bullies, I think the older the dog, the better you can see how the dog will turn out. Okay, fair enough. But could it possibly be that at 6 weeks, there's going to be flaws that are not going to be there that can possibly pop up at 10? You ever asked yourself that? Because to that one little puppy, 4 weeks is 45% of their life, right? It makes a world of difference when this breeder's having you pick a puppy based on color at 2 weeks. He's sending it to you at 6. So you receive it. When you receive it, puppy looks perfect. All puppies pretty much look perfect at 6 weeks. It is at by 10 or 12 weeks that you start, all these negative things start popping up. ADBA and SBR dogs over these deforms any day. Okay. Maybe not, says Million Man Mile. What are you saying? Maybe not. Thomas Archibald gives you the ability to make a better decision. Okay, we're talking about the time frame. RGB, yes, dogs producing productions that have major health issues, and people know this, but they turn their heads and glorify the name. Interesting. Infamous, Mr. Yang, good for you. This ain't the place for you then. I don't know what you're trying to do, but make yourself look foolish. D-Mac, the more time you wait to make your pick is better, but the eye of the breeder can make a good pick early. I think the eye of the breeder can make a good pick early on their bloodline, not on an outcross. That's just what I believe in. Queen says, most definitely you'll see more of the pups and their development will let some of the faults through. There you go. Fredia, I think it improves. You can tell more about puppies at this age instead of an earlier pick. There you go. Sit1026. Yes, I learned that with a recent litter my friend produced. We waited till 5 months and got to see which one were the late bloomers, which ones we let downs. Well, that's an excellent advice for a new breeder. If you're unsure of picking, why not hold the litter until they're 5 months and then let them go, even if it means letting them go at a cheaper price. But at 5 months, you're going to have a lot better idea as to who's who. I promise you. Perfect Storm Bullies. Once you can see a pup at 10, 12, you can get more of an idea compared to 6, 8. Big difference. I agree. NK Bullies, unhealthy dogs sell better than healthy dogs, unfortunately. I see this happen all over social media. RGB, yes, I'd rather choose a puppy that is 3 to 6 months. I agree. David Chapman, most of the time, but some of them do pop later and fourth pick ends up being first pick. This is true. This can happen. This is why, as a breeder, if you're dealing with new blood you brought in, rather than selling all the pups, you might want to hold on to a couple of them, give it some time before you let them go. Because a lot of times that cute puppy, that looks like it's got it all together, by the time they hit 6 months, they start showing you other things. V. Ferreira, do you have a video on how to read Embark, what to look for, pros and cons, trying to further advance my knowledge? Yes, sir. Go to our homepage, right? Let me go ahead and bring that up so you can see it. Let me go here. YouTube. There you go. QBN Kennel. Okay, so you go to YouTube, you type in QBN Kennel, and then what I want you to do, let me go ahead and bring it up so you guys can see it. There we go. There you go. So you're here, and then all you got to do is go ahead and click on our logo. It's going to bring you here. When it brings you here, you got to be on a laptop. You see the magnifying glass right there, right? You click on it, right? And then you can put, for example, Embark. Boom. And then now what it's going to do, let me zoom out. Look at that. DNA dog test, step by step. Genetic dog testings for everyone. Understanding puppy coat colors. And then everywhere else I spoke on anything genetic is going to come up as well. So it's very easy and very practical, guys. Just go to the homepage and type in what you're looking for. Let's see. I'm going to have to skip a couple of questions, man. Let's see. Queens, you'll also see more temperament in the personality. Someone you can see what the breeding temperament wise produce, especially if it's an outcross. Okay. Old school lines pop up much later. This is also true, man. Sometimes some lines pop up later than in the very beginning. That's just a fact. Here's the last question. If a dog's major flaw is easty-westy, do you think it's worth it to have put said dog as a puppy on Nuvet and NuJoint DS? Think about this, man. I had somebody tell me this week that NuJoint and Nuvet were too expensive. And, you know, that's just their opinion, so I can't go against that. But if you go ahead and take a look, you're going to realize it comes out to anywhere between 61 and 52 cents a day. In reality, if you do the auto ship, that's where it comes a lot cheaper. And when you do Nuvet and NuJoint, it comes out to about $1.02 a day, roughly. My question to you is, right, if you bought a dog for $5,000 and you could correct their east-west when they need it most, are you going to be fussing over $1 a day? I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to call that person cheap because everybody has a different financial situation. I'm just saying, if you got into a dog that you want to promote and you want to stud and you want to make it the backbone of your business, why are you over here arguing over $1 a day? You know, that should have been taken into account when you got into the whole thing. Literally every live on this channel shows the answer is yes, with proof of east-west fixing pictures. This is true. This is true. Not just east-west. And good point there, Infamous. Not just east-west, but also knuckling over. East-west, I showed it on my boy Fireball. You can see him there at 20 weeks, right? And at 24 weeks, he's still east-west, but he's only at a slight east-west. By the time he's 1 year, he's corrected. By 2.5, he's perfect. And this is what he looks like now. Dude, we call him here Mr. Perfect for a reason. And that's because we use Nuvet and NuJoint DS in order to be able to correct these small flaws that could be corrected due to diet. Okay. Could it be genetic? It can. But if it was genetic, you're going to look at mom, you're going to look at dad, and you're going to know, and you're going to say, no, there's no need for Nuvet. When in reality, there is, because those pups are going to be born with joint issues and pain and all sorts of things. So having Nuvet and NuJoint on board is going to be able to give them the added support that they actually need, guys. So just so you guys know, the answer is always yes. Ordering code is 513237. You can't buy this stuff in stores. You need the ordering code to be able to get it. And if you get it without a ship, you're going to get 13% off. Let's see. Sid1026. Nuvet can be pricey when you have more than one, but I can say it's definitely worth it. Here's the thing. If it comes out to $1 a day, I just don't see it as pricey. You could say, oh, well, you're the one that's sponsoring Nuvet, and you may very well, you can very well say that. But the fact of the matter is, if there was something that I can improve in my dogs for $1 a day, would it be worth it? To me, the answer is yes. Whether it's Nuvet, NuJoint, sardines, special water, salt from the Himalayas, I don't care what it is. If it's just a buck a day, why not do it? It's going to help. Perfect Storm, been using Nuvet Plus since day one. Heard of them back in the early 2000s when I had Pitbulls. There you go. Queens, I'm grateful for Nuvet because it helped my boys slight east-west. I caused, and for my girl acting like she's 1 again instead of 7. There you go. There you go. There's nothing better than when they say it themselves, what Nuvet has done for them. Zulema says, do you pick the pup 1, 2, 3, or 4th pick, or you let people be the 1, 2, 3, or 4th pick any of the pups? No. The way I do it is the opposite direction. Well, what I would do is, say, for example, if I go into a litter and I need a female out of that litter, okay, and say, this is important we talk about this. So say I need a female out of a particular litter and we have 7 puppies and I have 6 males and 1 female. I can tell you more likely than not, I'm not keeping that female. More likely than not, I'm not. Why? Because I need numbers so I can compare and I can make my best educated guess. Now, if that one female is super amazing, by the time she's 10 weeks old, I might keep her. But I prefer, if I have a 7-pup litter, say I have 6 females and 1 male, for sure I'm going to be picking a female. Because now I have numbers. I have 6 females to pick from. You see what I'm saying? That's really important to know, because sometimes people go into a breeding, they need a female. They only have 1 or 2 females in the litter, and they just go with the female no matter what. And that's really not a good practice, because genetics is nothing more than probabilities. And if you only have 1 or 2 females and that's what you need, then you're pretty much shooting yourself in the foot. All right. Real quick, excuse me, guys. Excuse me. Let me get the wheel up and going here. And man, we've had quite a few good comments, man. Quite a few good comments. So perfect. Queen's New Blood. Queen's New Blood. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a free spin. Every time I was looking up, you was tearing it up, man. So we're gonna give you a free spin. Let's see what we get. Oh, there it is. Nuvet. Stop. And there it is. All right. So do me a favor. I need you to download QBN app. I need you to go to Holland Custom Metal Designs, and I need you to send Kyle your address and your name, and I will be sending you a bottle of Nuvet. By the way, last week, my winners, my card got some sort of online fraud or whatever. So they sent me a new card. I should be getting it, if not today, tomorrow. And so I haven't sent out Nuvets from last week. So please don't get a heart attack. As soon as I get the card, I'll be sending them out. Okay. No issues. Let me see who else was killing it today up in here, man. Cause we've had quite a few of you, man. Let's see. V Ferreira, I would love to give you a spin, but you're not a member, man. Come on, man. You're not a member. Let's see. Okay, NK Bullies came up with this comment. I thought it was pretty good. I think the older the dog, the better you can see how this dog will turn out. So NK, thank you for joining us and commenting. Here goes your spin. All right, NK. Whoa, look at the wheel. Wheel passing out money to Dell. Stop. Oh, my goodness. Man, how close was that? Y'all? Man, sorry, NK. Sorry. I really was rooting for you. Sid 1026, you were killing it today. I got to give it to you. Let's give you a spin right here. Sid 1026, here we go. Stop. Beanie. Man, the wheel started passing out, and then it started taking away, man. Let me see if there's one more out here. Malachi, man, you always there. You're always consistent. So we're going to go ahead and give you a spin, Malachi. Here we go. Here we go, Malachi. Ooh. Oh, no. Oh, okay. Oh, man. Man, that was tough. That was tough, guys. But listen, it's all good. Hopefully, after this live, we've learned, I think, through the conversation and whatnot, I think we've learned. Oh, you got it, NK. Number up, man. I think we've learned or have a better idea of what a show quality, a breed quality, and a pet quality is. All I can tell you guys is if you have any questions, you could always reach out to me. If you're a member, if you're a mentorship member, we could always, whenever we do a live, just make sure to write down your question. And once I get to it and we go, we do the FaceTime, I could definitely answer your question then. Either way, guys, it's been Friday. It's been a good talk as to what show quality versus pet quality is. It's been Raw from the Q, and I'll be catching you on the next one.
Here we go, kill the whistle. Oh yeah. We are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time, don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate. And learn to cooperate. Yeah, hit that like button and do your thing. 5 membership will get you in, so let's talk dog.